I'm Evelyn, and I'm a geoholic.
Oh, shit. Say, oh, shit.
Man, was it?
I never heard that.
Never heard that. Has that always been there?
I guess. It's the demon. Okay. There we go.
Yeah, here we are.
Welcome back, Geoholics, episode 181.
181, believe it or not.
Yes, good to have you back, buddy. I missed you last week.
It is good to be back.
And you've probably experienced a couple different dimensions between now and the last time I spoke to you.
You know, it was up in the gorge. It was in a town in basically right in the middle of Washington. And I don't know if you've ever been to a concert at this place, but oh my gosh,
I hear it's incredible.
I mean, I sent you the picture, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it is
Yeah.
unreal. The location, the stage is like just tucked in the middle of this huge gorge, and you got the Columbia River going through, and
Awesome.
unbelievable place to see a show.
And who did you see?
It's called the Dead and Company.
Dead and Company.
Basically, what's left of the Grateful Dead. So a whole lot of fun. It was the last show is going to be in San Francisco, I think, next week, or maybe it's going on now. But
Sure.
this was this was their last tour. So me and a couple buddies flew to Seattle, rented an RV, drove out there. It was a whole lot of fun.
We're probably lucky that you're sitting here right now.
I am glad that I am here. Let's just say there were some times where it was a little dicey. Had some people falling out, but all in all,
good.
All in all, very good stuff.
Nobody died. That's all that matters.
Nobody died.
All right. So we're going to do things a little bit different. We've got a bunch of things going on with this episode.
We do.
Our guests are in Puerto Rico. We're going to get them into the conversation here in just a second. But we also have Rex Perry with us. Rex, real quick, say hello.
Hello there.
And if you remember, Rex has been on the show before. I don't remember which episode it was, but Rex has a special interest in talking to our guests this evening because if you remember right, he is developing an app that is going to help what is it? Underdeveloped?
Developing countries. Yeah.
Digitize like their cadasters and stuff like that. I mean, it's once this thing gets off the ground, it's going to do amazing things. So it's good to have you here this evening as well. Appreciate you taking the time to join us. And you want to tell us about that opening number real quick, Sean?
Yes, that was a band called Disturbed. Everyone's heard this song, Down with the Sickness.
Down with the Sickness.
Yes. Disturbed is an American heavy metal band from Chicago, formed in 1994. The band includes vocalist David Draymond, guitarist, keyboardist Dan Droning, I don't know that guy, bassist John Moyer, and drummer Mike Wengren. With over 17 million records sold worldwide, 6 RIAA certifications for their albums, including 5 platinum for The Sickness, singles from all 8 albums reaching the top 10 of the mainstream rock chart, 2 Grammy Award nominations. Disturbed ranks alongside Slipknot and Godsmack as one of the most successful rock bands of the 21st century.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you, I'm not a huge fan. I don't dislike them. It's just not like on my rotating playlist.
I don't think they're going to have long-term success, but I definitely like the song. It's pretty cool.
Wait a minute. I have 6 boys, and one of my 6 boys love that song.
Oh, really?
They played that at full volume
awesome.
Saturday morning to wake everybody up.
So it's bringing back memories for you. That's great. Here we are in the Get Kids Into Survey studio this week.
We are.
Lots of exciting things happening with Get Kids Into Survey. Of course, if you don't know, that's Elaine Ball and her team's effort. And she is just making such a huge impact that you just got to check them out. GetKidsIntoSurvey.com. Follow on all social media, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. Everywhere they have a platform, you got to follow them because they're doing some amazing things for promoting the survey profession.
That is correct. They are.
Good. Is that a problem?
No, it's not a problem.
Oh, good. Okay. Just making sure. And other than that, Sean, are you prepared for the Airworks somewhat random trivia?
I am.
Good.
This week, I chose a little trivia nugget about summer. We're in Phoenix. It is
summer.
I can't describe how hot it is right now. So just picked a couple of quick things. As soon as it pops up on my computer, I can be able to tell you. Currently, I think we're on the record of 110-degree days. So based on that, I picked a couple of things. Did you know that the Eiffel Tower gains about 6 inches in height during the warmer summer months?
Whoa, that's interesting.
Yeah.
No comment.
July is the month where they say it's the deadliest or the worst time to go to the hospital, because July is the month where the seasoned medical residents leave the hospital and the new ones come in. So they say death rates increase by 8 to 24% in July.
So what does it say for my cousin whose husband just had brain surgery today?
Boy.
Probably shouldn't choose July as the month to do that.
Thank God it came out okay.
You're right. You know, the term dog days of summer has actually nothing to do with an animal. It's actually because the dog is part of the star from Sirius who appears in July. So I mean, not your fuzzy animal, but the stars. And then lastly, summer is hot dog season. And believe it or not, they estimate that in America they eat 20 billion hot dogs from Memorial Day to Labor Day. And that equates to 70 hot dogs per person per year.
That's too much.
I was going to say, I am probably single-handedly responsible for about 1,000 hot dogs. I could eat hot dogs every day, I swear.
I mean, but 70, that means you're eating
70
more than one a week.
For a year?
That's 70 per person per year.
I don't know. I honestly, as
That
much
means
as I like hot dogs.
every American is responsible for 70, and apparently you eat most of them in the summer.
Yeah. No, I love hot dogs, but I don't eat 70 a year. There's no way. No way. Is that all you got?
That's all I got.
Well, that's good. Good stuff. My Airworks random trivia quote this evening is the shortest one I could possibly find about Puerto Rico, right?
Okay.
And you're going to love this. Here's the quote. In Puerto Rico, we dance to everything.
Our guests are shaking their head.
Yeah. And that, of course, is our good friend, Bad Bunny.
Yes.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah, a little Bad Bunny there
little
for
Bad
ya.
Bunny quote.
That's the first time we've ever mentioned Bad Bunny on the show. I can
Put that
assure you
on
of
the
that.
list.
That's awesome. All right, let's get our guests in here this evening. We have Ruth and Ruben, and I'm going to let them do some self-introductions here real quick. Ruth, I'm going to start with you. If you go first, just real quick, your name and who you work for, yourself in this case. And go ahead. Yep.
Like you said, my name is Ruth, and I do work for myself. I established my own firm in 2019.
Okay.
And since then, we've been given professional service in Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands.
Oh, okay. And we also have Ruben. Ruben, go ahead.
Yep. I've been, my name is Ruben, like you said. Something about myself. I was born in July, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hopefully you're a good doctor.
30 years and around 5 days ago. Yep.
Happy belated birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Thank you. I don't know what that means for me, about what you said about the doctors. Not the new doctors coming, but
You're alive.
I mean, it went well. Yeah, I mean, I'm alive. So
Yeah, it must have worked. And it's the medical students that are coming in. So you just got to worry about not the bbig stuff.
Yeah.
But I've been working with Ruth since 2019. That's the year we met, actually. Okay. Since we met, I discovered surveying, and I've been working with her ever since. And I think it was the start of last year, I actually decided that I was going to start studying, working towards my degree in surveying, hopefully in the future to become a licensed surveyor.
And you guys recently created a little surveyor, correct?
She's 1 year old.
1 year.
Congratulations.
Nice.
Hopefully, she will become a surveyor.
Yeah.
But anything that she chooses, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
We'll support her.
As long as she's not an
Absolutely.
architect.
Exactly.
Oh, we're kidding.
Oh, it's so funny. So I do have some interesting facts about Puerto Rico before we get into the meat of this.
Okay.
So real quick, this is the Trimble Pro Point segment of the show.
Okay.
Where recently we've had a couple different international surveyors on. So rather than using this as an icebreaker, I've used it as an opportunity to present some facts, little known facts, about these different countries.
Okay.
So Puerto Rico is not a state, but a commonwealth within the United States.
That's correct.
All Puerto Rican residents receive birthright citizenship of the USA.
Mm-hmm.
Puerto Rico is the world's oldest colony.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
Interesting. Birth of the New World is a depiction of Christopher Columbus at the helm of his ship and is America's tallest statue. The statue is made of bronze and is 360 feet tall, making it more than 200 feet taller than the Statue of Liberty.
Wow. Interesting. Okay.
And last but not least, Islanders use the imperial as well as the metric system.
Oh, for measure.
So both?
Both.
Wow.
How
Yep.
confusing is that, guys?
No, that's.
Can you
wish
imagine
we had all gone
what that does to our job?
Right.
So, what, like for surveying, are you surveying in imperial or metric or both?
My,
In the metric system, we do our job in the metric system,
Yeah.
but when you're going to explain it to your client, then you'll have to
Convert.
yeah,
talk
we
in
usually have to
inches and
convert.
feet.
Yeah, because when
Interesting.
you're talking with the clients, it's even if it's an engineer or an architect, they normally understand you better in feet, inches. So.
Yep. And so you guys run this business together, correct? Do you have other employees, or is it just the two of you?
Yeah. We're eight people at the office, including us two.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
And what is it like? Being a couple as a team running a survey business. Talk about the pros and cons of that arrangement.
Well, I can say I think the biggest con is making sure that you separate your work-related conversations from your family time.
That's got to be hard.
Because since you go home with your coworker, since
Or
you
your
tend
boss.
to
She's
sometimes we're
exactly.
eating
Yes,
dinner
that.
or watching a movie, and I'm like, "Did you make this phone call? Did you receive this email?
Oh, yeah.
What are we gonna do with this mistake that one of our technicians did?"
Yeah.
And that is something that you need to focus on and try to not do it.
Yeah, it's always hard at first. It comes with practice, I guess. Because for the first year, I'd say we started in June 2019, and for that first year, it was that you wouldn't see that separation, especially because we started from our own home. We started working at home, so it was hard to see that separation between personal life and work life. After that year, we said, like, we have to put a line, set a boundary.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest pro to be working with my spouse is that I know that he is as committed as I am to perform and to do a good job.
Yep.
And that security that I have, knowing that if I'm absent and he's in charge, he'll do a good job. That is something that you won't have
Yep.
when you do not work with somebody that you trust 100%.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
tough to find.
Well, and he doesn't want to come home to an upset boss,
That's right.
right?
No,
No.
no, I do not.
How long
I try to do my
ago?
job.
How long ago did you guys start the company?
2019,
Okay.
4 years.
Yeah, it's about 4 years.
And then how you mentioned you have some technicians. How big is the group now?
It's the two of us and 6 more.
Yeah. So, but we have one is an administrative assistant. So out of the 8 that are in the office, 7 of us are actually
But one of them, he's a draftman.
Oh yeah, one is a draft.
But he's so good that
he sometimes goes out to the
Uh-huh.
field and helps us. And
Nice.
Yeah.
as a small firm, yeah, it's all hands on deck all the
Sure.
time.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a very common phrase
Everybody
around the
has to
office.
do a little bit of everything.
Yep.
We don't have technicians that they only stay at the office or that they only go to the field. They all have to learn to draw and to go to the field and to do some administrative tasks too.
Yeah, we try to teach all of them. well, that's kind of the philosophy. We try to teach them all how to talk with the clients, how to become a surveyor.
A true surveyor.
Let me ask you some historical questions about Puerto Rico. Are you guys describe digitized? Are you guys digitized? Are a lot of the findings, your landmarks, your longitude, latitudes, are those in the space someplace, or is it all still on paper? Describe that for us.
When you say the digitized, do you mean the plats?
Yeah, the
Do you
plats.
mean
Are they accessible via the internet, or a lot of countries are still, to access some of the surveys, you still have to go to the repository and check them out on paper. Are you guys digitized there?
Well, since 2015, they passed a law that says that all new plats need to be presented and digitized, right?
Okay.
But everything before that, you need to go
To the property registry or whatever.
in person
Yeah.
to go search for it.
Is that public?
Right now, there's a project. I'm sorry to
Yeah, go ahead.
right now there's a project where they hire a company that is digitizing all those old plats.
Excellent.
That's why we're having issues when we need to do a boundary survey, and you go to the property registry and they say, "Oh, we don't have it. They took it to digitize, and we don't know when it's gonna be re-added."
Interesting.
Yeah.
And in how many counties, how many municipalities are on the island there of Puerto Rico?
78.
78 cities.
Yeah, I
or
googled that, and
municipalities.
can you explain
Wow.
that? Can you explain why is
We
that?
can
Because
try.
those are 78 different organizations with different records. Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well,
But
the reason why that happened is because since our topography is so difficult, first we were part of Spain before the U.S. invited us in 1898. So when we were part of Spain, everywhere where they were able to establish like a small community because of the topography and the lack of roads, they established like a town there.
Yep.
So once people feel identified with that town, then it became a municipality.
yeah,
The last time that a municipality was created was in the 60s or 70s, so not that long ago.
It's not that long ago.
But that was for political reasons.
Yeah.
Interesting.
The Spaniards, when they, like Ruth said, they got to a space where they said, this is a space good enough to establish a town. So they
built a plaza.
They built the plaza. They built the church. They built the school, and whether I forget what it's called in Spanish, alcaldía.
Yeah, the
mayor's
municipality
office.
Yes.
The mayor's office.
Now, has
That's
anybody
how it became a town.
has anybody ever discussed combining, or does that create red tape for you guys when you try to do a survey? Does that cause difficulty, barriers, or no?
What?
When he means red tapes, he means
Like
bureaucracy.
hurdles.
You mean when there's bureaucracy
Yeah.
in the offices?
Yeah, that's
Sometimes, not always. Not really, because the property registry is divided by regions.
okay.
There aren't 78 property registry offices.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. That was where we're going.
At least it's not. So it's I forget how many regions there are,
I think it's-
but there aren't 78 property registry offices. So at least it's not that divided. Everything's not that divided. So
And can anybody hold title, gringos, if they come and buy land and property, they get to hold title, et cetera, et cetera?
Yeah. Titles are more simple here than in the U.S. I remember when I used to work in Texas, somebody could own the underground rights.
Yes.
Another person could own the land, and then another person could own the building. But here you do not have those underground rights. So if you own the property,
Surface rights only.
Surface rights.
yeah, they don't have.
Interesting.
yep.
How interesting.
If you own this property, you own all the rights down and up.
Okay. On the
So
island.
it's more simple.
How are properties described there? Is there what's the basis for the cadastre? Is it a sectionalized land thing? Is it a meets and bounds combination
No,
of
it's
the two?
meets and bounds.
Meets and bounds.
Meets
Okay.
and bounds.
It's meets and bounds. it's meets and bounds, but the property description in the deeds are not written by surveyors.
Yeah.
That's
And
not
9
good.
out of 10 are written by the attorneys.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that means
Who think they're
that-
surveyors, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah, they're smart enough.
that means that most property descriptions goes like this: a lot of land of 1 acre, just to say a unit that you know that you're familiar with, but because mostly here it's cuerdas, it's almost an acre.
Yeah.
We'll say a lot of land of 1 acre, adjoining by the north in the north side with
Kent.
Kevin, with Kent, in the south side with Ruben, in the east side
Oh,
with
Sean.
my goodness.
Yep,
in
that's
the
it.
west side
That's horrible.
with Maria.
Yep, that's it.
That's it.
That's horrible.
Okay, now
That's
this
the
is
proper
Sometimes-
this is important, guys. Everybody make note of this.
Sometimes the good ones, they sometimes have distances, but they not barren. They don't have barrens. They say on the north
monuments.
side in a distance of 20 meters with Kent. On the east side, on the south side, in the distance of 20 meters with Ruben.
Well,
But
most
that's
of
it.
them,
How do you survey that?
Yeah.
How do you survey that?
right? That's why we should charge more. Well, of course, we need the plat. That the first plat that created that law.
Yeah.
But sometimes it didn't even exist.
Yeah.
And if it did exist, you have to see who has it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can't find it.
Because adding to that point, still to this day, I believe, right? You're not obligated when you go to register a title or a deed on the property registry. The lawyer is not obligated to take the plat and register the plat.
Oh,
And the property registry is not obligated to file it either.
Yeah.
so part of the work that I'm trying to do is to try to help developing countries understand that if they can get to some stabilized situation where these records are public, they're accurate and digitized, the whole country will stabilize, because now you know who owns what and who's paying the property taxes. So that leads me to the next question is, how do your property taxes work if your legal descriptions are so vague? How do they collect property
Because the
taxes?
government, they want to charge the property tax, and they do not care if they charge it to Ruben or Ruth.
Yeah.
They just want to charge it.
Yep.
So they don't
So
care
let's
about
say that-
accuracy.
Exactly. So if you go online and you go to our digital cadastre, you're going to see that most property lines shown in that cadastre are not accurate.
They're not
They are not-
survey lines.
No.
They're
They-
not.
It's like a
They are not
GIS type
based
thing,
on-
right? Like GIS.
It's a
you get it
GIS, but
surveyed,
it
right?
is
Yeah.
it's not based
Not even
on
that good.
it's not based on surveys
Right.
performed by surveyors. Not most of them, at least.
Some of them are, because in the newer cases, if I'm gonna buy Ruth's property, for example, I get it surveyed. I buy the property, get it surveyed, and I go to the cadastre and present the plat, so that they can, for example, if I get it surveyed, the cadastre said that I own an acre, but when I get it surveyed, I own half an acre. Actually, it's half an acre. So I go to the cadastre. This is just to say an example. I just go to the cadastre so that I pay less.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's the other way around, but
Sure.
you get the idea.
But that's for the new transactions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody who has never taken the property to the tax agency, then the tax agency, they do not know who owns that land or where the property line is. But they're going to charge it to whoever is, whoever they can find. So that's why they do not care if the property line between us is correct. They can charge it.
But they're working. They're actually
They're trying to do.
they're trying to figure out the correct person to charge
Assess.
because right now there's a project where the cadastre is communicating with all the other offices for the energy power authority and the water authorities and they're trying to figure out who's actually paying for the water, who's paying for the electricity, and who's paying for that property. So they're going to send them a letter and say, "Oh, you owe this amount of money."
Yeah,
and that's a new project.
It's like an assessment.
Trying to find
Yes,
right? It's an assessment.
assessor.
Yeah.
And this is the essence of surveying, is to be able to have maps and accurate records of the dimensions and who holds title and are they paying their property taxes, because that goes to roads and bridges and police and the government. Property tax is the most stable form of revenue collection, and most developing countries don't have it.
Yep.
And therefore the surveyors are a hidden key to the solution of the problem, but nobody's talking about it except geologists. You got it.
Well,
Let's get the
I didn't know. Did you know that, Kent? That your profession is the key
It's
to
the key.
collecting taxes.
Ultimately, yes.
Property taxes.
And in these developing countries where a surveyor is badly needed, somebody's got to pay for that surveyor's time.
Yeah.
Well,
That's the thing.
we jumped right into some of this. I
Yeah.
want to, if you guys mind, I want to take a little bit of a step back, and can you tell me, how did the company start? What's the name? How did you decide to start a survey company? And tell me a little bit about, or tell us a little bit about the evolution.
Yeah.
And then when did you hook up with this Yahoo beside you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, he was my inspiration.
Oh, nice. Okay.
She's too modest. No, she's.
Well, I had been working in surveying for a couple of years, and I was a project manager at the surveying firm, and I noticed how the shortage of surveyors was affecting the infrastructure development in Puerto Rico. And also I saw that there was a need for surveyors who would perform a great job and comply with geospatial standards and do an excellent job. So when I met him, he said, "Hey, you have the potential to establish your own firm." And I took a leap of faith.
She was.
Wait, on him or the company, or both?
A leap of faith for them.
Yeah, both.
Right?
That's awesome.
No, but she's being too modest, as always. She was a project manager. If you're not going to tell it right, then
Go ahead, Ruben.
Come on, Ruben.
I'm going to tell it. I'm going to tell it like it is. She was a project manager at a survey firm, and basically, she was running the whole surveying side of the company. Because the company was owned by an engineer who was an engineer and also a surveyor. So, she was basically doing the job of 4 people. And so I told her, like she said, you're seeing this need of infrastructure development. Like, why not just, if you're doing it, why not do it for yourself? Why not do it for your own time, right? And that's what I just kept telling her, and she just said, like, okay, I'm gonna do it, and we just started. I told her, like, I'm gonna help you with it. At that time, I was working with my father. He owns a clinical laboratory. I was actually studying. My university side of things. My university career I changed university like 2 times, 3 if you count where I'm studying right now. I started studying biology because I thought I was going to be a doctor. Then I changed. After 3 years, I said, no, this isn't for me. So my father kind of talked with me and said, "Oh, I own a business. Why don't you come work with me and study medical technology, right?" Mm-hmm. So I gave that a chance. Studied about 2.5 years of that. I just was honest to him, and I just told him, like, I can't do that. I can't do it. I don't love it. I'm not going to do something that I don't love, because I'm not the type of person to work 8 hours in just surrounded by 4 walls.
Sure.
I'd go crazy. And I can't do the same thing every day either. I just go crazy. She always say that I have undiagnosed ADHD.
So does
which
Kent.
I might.
Ditto.
Actually, very well diagnosed, though, right?
Yeah.
So I just, at that moment, she was thinking of changing work, right? Work life. I was like, well, I need to change as well. We talked a lot about what surveying is, because before I met her, I had never actually even heard about surveying, as most people, right?
Yep.
So she started talking to me about surveying. I was like, I like that. It's kind of interesting, right? If you decide to start a company, I actually told her, why don't you bring me with you to one of your jobs? And I went, and I liked it, and I told her, like, let's just do this. I'm going to help you with everything
awesome.
I can. Learn everything I can. Let's do this. Because since my father owned the company, I always like to, say that I brought a little bit to the table, right? So I knew a little bit about how to manage the finances and how to work with the office administration side of things. So I tried to help her with that. But really, she did everything. I mean,
when I was going to register the corporation, I asked a couple of colleagues, like, how can I choose a name? And how do you choose the corporation name?
Yeah.
And they say, Ruth, you need to use your name.
Yeah.
Because if you don't use your name, nobody's going to hire you. The only reason why they will hire you is because you're Ruth.
Yeah.
Because you have a reputation that you do a good job.
Yeah.
So that's why I use my
And
my
what
full
is
name.
what's the full name of the company? What is the full name?
Oh, it's very long.
pretty long name.
Oh my!
It's Ruth Trujillo-Rodriguez, Professional Land Surveyors, PSC.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
So Ruth, I want
So once I have my clients like very well established, I'm gonna change the name.
I do want to put the spotlight on you for a little bit longer, Ruth. First of all, we know that there are not a lot of females in the survey profession, let alone females that own survey companies. You're in a very small minority of folks that are doing that. Talk about that just a little bit. I mean, that's a big thing. It's a big thing. It's a big thing for a female to become a professional surveyor and to own their own business. I mean, that takes a lot of courage.
And
Yes,
congratulations, by the way. That's really awesome.
Thank you. And like we said, we established the firm in 2019. And if you remember, the pandemic started early 2020.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Perfect
So-
timing.
Yeah.
But when you're surveying, you're distancing. So
You're essential.
But here
You're
in
essential.
Puerto Rico,
Uh-huh.
they said nobody's going to go
They
out.
closed everything.
Oh my
It was for how many months? Like 6 months or something? It was longer than in the States.
Wow.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was very scary.
Sure.
you
Because I
survived.
started the company with like $400 in my bank
Oh
account.
man, good for you.
And I needed to find new clients. I didn't steal any clients from my former employer, you know. I
Yeah.
needed to build my new base of clients. So when everything was shut down for so many months, we were like, what are we gonna do? But once they allowed us to go back to work again, it was working hard, 24/7, and once you do a good job, that person's gonna refer you to another and to another.
Yep.
And at first, all the boundary surveys that we did were neighbors arguing about the boundary,
Yeah.
conflicts
Boundary disputes.
between individuals.
Yep.
But right now, most of our clients are engineers, architects, the government, and this year we signed a contract with the Corps of Engineers.
Oh,
That's
nice.
huge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So
big.
we're very happy to be one of the top firms in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
That was a goal that
Wow.
since she started,
Yeah.
because actually where she was working, she had that experience and she loved it.
Yep.
So when she started her company, she said, sooner or later they're gonna call and they're
Yeah.
gonna choose
Yep.
us.
Let me
Yep.
The
clarify.
first time that I answered a solicitation, I was like, I'm just going to still answer it so they'll know that I'm here, that I
Yeah.
exist.
Yep.
But then everything kept,
Snowballing, basically.
Yeah.
Sure.
And
Yep.
they chose us.
Did she
Out
say-
of 3 firms or 5? I don't remember.
It was like 6, I think.
Wow. Did you say Army Corps of Engineers?
Yeah, Army Corps of Engineers.
Yes.
That is a
that's huge.
major accomplishment.
Massive.
That is great.
I am so excited to talk about Carlson Software. Founded in 1983, Carlson Software specializes in CAD design software, field data collection, and machine control products for the land surveying, civil engineering, construction, and mining industries worldwide, providing one-source technology solutions from data collection to design to construction.
Oh, yeah. Carlson Software's renowned dedication to customer service is unique in the industry. Their software suite is designed to complement land surveying operations and provides a variety of survey features to process data from surface modeling to least squares network adjustment. Users work seamlessly between the office and the field by utilizing company-wide design styles for ease of use and efficiency.
And I can say I have personally been using Carlson since 1991.
Whoa. 1991? How is that possible?
Oh my God. I don't know. I mean, time flies when you're having fun, that's for sure. But back in 1991, when I was introduced to Carlson, it was very apparent to me that their software products simply think like a surveyor. It's so easy to use. Their customer service is second to none. And I actually went to Maysville, Kentucky for some training and played golf with Bruce and his brother.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. Nicest human beings on the planet. Highly recommend Carlson.
To find out more, simply go to carlsonsw.com. Be sure to let them know the Geoholic sent you.
Ruben, I think you mentioned in your bio, I mean, obviously Puerto Rico is a beautiful place to live. The weather is like perfect all year long.
Gorgeous.
Yep. But you have hurricanes.
Yeah.
Right?
Unfortunately.
And you mentioned
it can't all be perfect.
Yeah, right.
I think you mentioned that you guys have done like, I don't know, maybe 300 or 400 house surveys after the hurricane, the latest hurricane.
Yeah. I did a over the top count. It's like 350 or something. It's still an ongoing contract. That we had the honor and the blessing to be chosen as one of the firms that we've done since Hurricane Maria. So many houses were destroyed, and there's still, you can check on was it Noah, right? They flew over the island, and you could see so many houses with the blue tops, the
tarps.
the blue tarps, and a lot of those houses, people applied to government funding for help to rebuild their houses, and so we've been working with engineering firms and contractors to provide the survey aspect.
And the pre-construction survey for the engineers and the architects to design the new houses.
Oh, wow.
We've also done some stakeouts for the new houses as well.
And when
it's been really
Department of
rewarding.
Housing.
Yeah, and when you do that, you upload it digitally, so it's helping create this digital. No,
No, because they are not boundary surveys.
You're opening a
They
can of
are-
worms.
yeah.
You're opening
They
a
are
can of
as
worms.
back to
field
the
and
issue.
topographic surveys.
Oh, you're
And
not
I'm going to
doing.
explain you why.
Okay, please.
In Puerto Rico, all land is owned by somebody.
Yeah.
It's not. You know how some developing countries, they go and they occupy a land, and now it's their land because it was nobody's land. You don't have that here. Every single house that you see, the land is owned by somebody. It's usually a family farm. You know, the first owner was her grandparents. You know, and the whole family kept building houses in that farm, and now there's like 10, 12 houses in the same farm. You
With
see?
no
never
with
been
no
s-
individual boundaries. With no
Exactly. It has
Oh.
never been subdivided.
cluster.
Oh, yeah.
But the land is owned by somebody, you know, by a family.
And they
So
all
if-
get
if
together
let's say
and
that-
they all pay the property taxes.
They do.
Also.
Let's say if one of those houses was destroyed by the hurricane. They apply for funding. We're going to do an as-built and topographic survey of that house because they're going to build the new house in the same spot.
But not the
But
whole.
I cannot perform a boundary survey because the farm may be 50 acres. See, they
Interesting.
still don't have a title for their lot.
And that 50 acres may have a survey and it may not. Is that what you're saying? It may.
Exactly.
Oh, see, this
Yes.
is the issue. This is why we need surveyors all over the world to nail this down. Because, by the way, without knowing those boundaries, you don't know how many acres or hectares. You don't know how many dollars per hectare you owe. How can you assess property taxes
Yep.
if you don't
It's a
know
guess.
what your boundary?
It's a guess.
Yeah, so this is the essential goal of the smartphone app that I'm developing, is to use a very rough longitude and latitude GPS, Google Maps, basically from your phone to get a marker, to get a starting point, and then just start doing rough data entry of who owns it, birth certificates, identity, and start uploading this information so that people can get stability in
Right.
financing. How can you finance something when you don't know what the boundary is? You know,
It's a great question.
10-year security.
yeah. And how do
Security, she nailed it.
how do you insure it for future hurricanes if you don't know exactly where the boundaries are? So insurance, banking, title insurance, survey, engineering, architecture, everything is tied, and the surveyors are the first step. They are. They are. That's why you're so
Hey,
important.
you're preaching to the choir,
I
buddy.
know. We got to
Preaching
get the
to
word
choir.
out. We have got to get the word out.
I'm curious, like, how old are, like, some of the oldest surveyors? Like, what's the oldest survey marker you've found?
Yeah, you guys got to go back to 18 something or more.
Well, I think the oldest monument that we have seen was in El Yunque National Forest.
Oh yeah.
I think it was more than 100 years old.
Wow.
That monument. It
Yeah.
didn't have the name of the surveyor who built it, but I think that's the oldest.
And
monument
people
that
don't
I've
understand these surveys are part of the history, and they're an important part. I was a title officer in Utah County while I went to BYU, and I would go down to the county courthouse, and they had these huge abstract books from the 1800s, and we would open them up, and they had chains and links
Yep.
and rods.
Yep.
Probably very few people know what this is.
That's how they surveyed originally.
And they
Yeah.
said, and the starting point was this boulder next to the river.
Yep.
That was the monument.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, guys, this is crazy. And now we have this technology in these little tiny phones where you can pick up a longitude and latitude that's relatively accurate.
Yep. Rex, I think we need to make you an honorary surveyor.
I want to help. I want to help.
Sounds
We want to
like
make
it.
this happen.
That's funny.
All right, I want to circle back.
Go.
Okay, so awesome stuff. Got the company started, and then, the thing happens. You get the magic contract that you've been waiting for. Now, let me guess. It's you and Ruben, and you got way more work than you need than you can possibly do. Talk about how you acquire people, how you train. I mean, one big common theme on this show is getting people interested in the business, the lack of surveyors to hire, and how that process goes. Talk a little bit about how you've been successful in building a team and some of the struggles that go along with it.
Most of them are students.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's
Tell
good.
them how we get them in love in surveying. How some of them were studying.
Oh,
something
I'm
else.
dying to
We
know.
actually, the most recent case, he was an intern. He, as part of a school program, he was in his last year, 12th grade, right?
In high school.
In high school.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
the second semester of high school, they set up an internship program where they go and work in office work. It's mostly supposed to be office work, right? So we applied, and they told us, yeah, we're going to send you a student. They sent us 2 students. They interviewed them all. One of them, the one that we chose, he wanted to be a history teacher, and he wanted to also study, I think it was archaeology or something like that. And I told him, you're gonna fall in love with surveying.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
As
one of
soon as
those
he started,
professions that's close,
It's,
right?
it's kind of
Yeah.
like archaeology. I
Yeah.
mean, you're digging
The
up
first week we
history.
took him to the National Archives
Yeah.
Ah,
Oh, cool.
to go look for a plat.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
that's genius.
That was around the time where we were doing that survey on Culebra, and that's one of the. I think it's the oldest plat we've seen.
It was from
1800s.
1887.
1887, guys.
It's awesome.
Plat of the
87.
whole how Culebra Island, the whole island was subdivided for the first time, and it's an amazing plat, and it's still very accurate to this day.
Yep.
Actually,
Wow.
yeah.
And he changed his idea of
Yeah.
what he wanted to become.
He went to the field one time, and when he came by, he was like, "I want to study surveying."
That's
He's
awesome.
already enrolled.
And
And
he's
it happened
enrolled.
with two other technicians. One of them was studying to become an engineer, a civil engineer.
Yeah.
And when he started working with us, he completely fell in love with surveying, and he's almost gonna graduate from
Yeah.
surveying.
He's on his last trimester now, and he's gonna graduate soon.
And the other one was studying electrical engineer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, Sean probably won't admit it, but if he had to do it all over again, he'd probably be a land surveyor.
I mean, it is an exciting career.
Well, you're out in the beautiful. You get to go out in the
You
air.
can go anywhere. You can go anywhere in the
and you
world.
go,
Yeah.
you don't have to.
I mean, hey,
Be in an office.
geotech engineers can get outside too, guys. Just throw that out there.
There's some parallels, no doubt about it. So, do you guys struggle with the shortage, though? Is it hard to find good people?
It is. The struggle, it's the same everywhere, and this is something we talked about in Canada. It's the same. It's the same everywhere. There's a shortage of surveying, and not only surveying. Every single career, they're needing more people, and for some reason they're not finding enough people, right? But I guess we've been lucky in the sense that we've found really, really good people that work with us that understand how we work, and they really want to learn how to survey and how to become a surveyor, because it's not the same. It's not working in surveying and wanting to become a surveyor. Sometimes it's not the same. It doesn't
true.
Sometimes it doesn't go hand in hand. It should, but sometimes it's just in there for it's just 9 to 5, and it's just go through the motions, right? You're not necessarily interested in becoming a surveyor.
That's why we got
That's what
to
we try to.
convince them that they can change the world.
Absolutely.
With every longitude and latitude, every monument becomes a marker that can be passed on for generations. And I have a quick question: is there an association of surveyors in Puerto Rico? Do you have business associations? And do you gather? Do you have meetings?
Associations.
There are two.
Yeah.
Two different.
There are
that's
two.
interesting.
Yes, because by law you need to be part of the professional college and engineers of land. And I'm sorry, by law you need to be a member of the Professional College of Engineers and Land Surveyors of Puerto Rico.
Okay.
Because they are the ones that they have a tribunal.
Regulations.
They are in charge of
Yeah.
making sure that people do not perform engineer or land surveying illegally
Gotcha.
Without license.
without license.
Oh, good.
Right. So that one's if you want to be a professional land surveyor, you need to be a member of the professional college.
Yeah.
And there's also a voluntary association, which is called the Association of Land Surveyors in Puerto Rico. And sometimes, they share a common goal. Sometimes they don't.
And
That's why they both exist.
Yeah.
We're members of all of them.
Yeah. I'm not a member of the college, since you can only become a member. She's a board member of the Institute of Land Surveyors, which is the body that the association inside of the College of Engineers and Surveyors that represents surveying. I'm a member of a board member for the Association of Land Surveyors, but since I'm not a LSIT or a PS, I can't become a member of the College of Engineers and Surveyors.
Interesting.
So I am a member, like I said, of the Association of Land Surveyors, a board member, and the Association of Land Surveyors is also trying to more and more involve businesses, the business side,
Okay.
That's where I was
represent
going to go.
the industry.
Do they have title insurance? Because when I was a title officer, we involved surveyors a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Because when there was a legal dispute, the title insurance. Tell me about title insurance. Do they have title insurance there on the island?
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
So
And
you
are they
do,
associated?
Yeah, you do Alta surveys?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we do.
Okay,
That's
very
interesting.
And so, see, when you guys talk about funding, because it's all about the money, guys, right? Let's be honest. The title insurance industry, I used to be a title officer, they've got deep pockets. And if they understood that by supporting the development of the surveying industry and doing it island-wide, it would help bring more business to them, to everybody wins. There's no losers when we start focusing down on these boundaries. Nobody loses.
Yep.
And it all gets cleaned up and cleared up. The government wins. They collect more property taxes. Everybody wins. Everybody.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we got to do it.
I love the folks at Bad Elf. Bad Elf GNS receivers deliver affordable accuracy through easy-to-use hardware supported by continuously evolving firmware, apps, and cloud services. Founded in 2010, Bad Elf created the first made-for-iOS external GPS accessory and now enables high-performance location services for all mobile platforms.
Man, that's amazing. Did you also know that all of your new GNSS receivers can be accurate, affordable, and flexible? The Bad Elf Flex offers a trailblazing survey-grade receiver that delivers consistent accuracy at a highly affordable price.
I'm going to stress affordable price.
Yeah.
You got to check it out. Many people think companies go into business to create products and services, but at Bad Elf, they strive to create loyal customers. To find out more, simply go to badelf.com and let them know the Geoholic sent you for the baddest discounts available. So tell me, is land surveying, would you consider it a respected profession in Puerto Rico?
That's a bit
It's
of
a trick question.
That's a trick question. No.
Because by law, we are
I'm a
in the
better
same
answer.
standing as engineers and architects.
Yep.
But even our colleagues, they do not, most of them,
Yep.
or some of them, do not see it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Same issues
Like,
all over the country. Yep. Same
And,
issues.
There's got to be a way to bring this to the forefront. People understand how important this industry is. It's got to. We
Yeah.
got to
And
get
to
the word
become
out.
a land surveyor in Puerto Rico, just so you have a perspective,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
you have to have a bachelor degree in land surveying.
Okay.
Yeah, that was one of our questions.
Yeah.
Is
And then you
there
have to
is there a
take-
program that offers a bachelor's degree in land surveying in Puerto Rico?
Yeah, you have two universities. There's a private university, which is the one where I graduated, Polytechnic University of Puerto Rico, and then the public university in the
State university.
the state university in Mayagüez. It's in the west coast of the island.
So in
Yeah.
So
Ruben's
you have
case,
two options.
that's awesome. But in Ruben's case, what will it take for you to become a licensed surveyor?
I have to finish my bachelor's degree.
Okay.
After I finish my bachelor's degree, I can take the LSIT, the NCWS LSIT FS exam, right? Get my LSIT. After that, I have to certify 2 years of working under a license, the direct supervision of a licensed surveyor.
I think you got that taken care of.
Well, I smell a conflict of interest here, guys. I'm sorry.
But the thing is, I can't certify it retroactive. I think that's how it's said.
Okay.
Bummer.
It's the 2 years start when I pass my FS.
Not when you pass it, when you registered with the state.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Interesting.
After I certify those, I can take the PS exam right after I take the FS, but after I pass the FS exam. But even if I pass it, I still have to wait those 2 years in order to get my professional license. So
And then you become a professional surveyor, and
Yep.
you have to pay your fees every year to be part of the college.
Yep.
Well, it's just
So
amazing
it's
that.
not easy to become a surveyor in
Oh
Surveyor
no.
in
No.
Puerto Rico.
But but in the context, we're in Arizona, and in the state there is not a not a university that provides a 4-year surveying bachelor's degree.
There's not.
And you guys have
and you
two.
have to have
Yeah.
you need a bachelor's degree in Arizona.
You do not. No.
Not currently, but they're it's proposed that they are going to require that, even though the state doesn't offer that program, which is kind of wild
It'd
for
be
us.
stupid if that happened.
Yeah. Let's just get the kids interested and get them in there.
I know she does too. We like to take the opportunity whenever someone asks us, like, when they see us on the street or something, what are you doing? Are you surveying? Like, yes, I'm surveying. Do you have any questions? Or well, do you want to know something about surveying? Maybe they come to you like, oh, maybe I think I need to have my property surveyed. And I said, yeah, just give us a call. We can answer all the questions, consultations, whatever you need.
Yeah.
And that's also a way that we try to speak about the importance of surveying.
Yeah, and social media has been
Yeah.
very helpful too.
Oh yeah.
Because since I'm very vocal about how women in science in general, how we can thrive, it's very common for girls to send me a message and say, hey, I'm struggling to what I'm going to study, or I'm studying something that my parents told me to study and I don't like it.
Yeah.
What can I do? Do you have any recommendations? And it's fulfilling.
Oh God. Yeah,
For
for
me.
sure.
To become an example for
Yeah.
a young girl.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
and
so
a lot of
rewarding.
them actually, a lot of them write her and thank her just for the fact that she is an inspiration to a lot of girls.
Yeah,
And
I'm sure. Yeah, kudos to you for that. I'm curious, is it like, I don't know, historically surveyors are not really good business people. And as a result, they tend to undercharge for their services. Do you guys struggle with that there? I mean, what's the competition like?
Yes, definitely. I think one of the difficulties that we encounter is with people who illegally perform surveying. And when I say legally, it's because they don't have a license. Because even if you have 10 years of experience, and even if you have a bachelor degree in surveying, if you don't have your license, you're doing something illegal. It's punishable by law. And since they don't have a license, they charge less than we charge. Because I have so many things to pay. I have professional liability to pay. I have an office. I have a lot of... my overhead is different from what they have.
Yeah.
So if an engineer needs to take out a property or a building that they're going to build, and I say, well, I can charge you $650, and this person say, I'll do it for half.
Yeah.
Who do you think they're going to hire?
Even if they
so
don't have a
frustrating.
license.
Now, here in the United
So
States,
frustrating.
when you do a survey and you're going to record that information, they won't let you put that into the public domain without having checked your background, right, Kent? How does that work?
Unfortunately, no. I mean, in some states, like I can tell you, like for example, in California, like
Okay.
to get something recorded in California,
Yeah.
you got to jump through a lot of hoops to get
Yeah.
it recorded. Here in Arizona, unfortunately, it's not that bad.
Wow.
It's not like that. Yeah.
Well, not only that, you'll find stuff that was recorded that is just
Junk.
clearly not
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we don't have county surveyors review all the plats before they get recorded and stuff. Whereas in California, for example, like everything goes through a very extensive review process before it's even allowed to be recorded.
I was just doing a project in Tempe by ASU,
Yeah.
and the survey, this is a couple of years ago, and the surveyor had to go to the public records in the city of Tempe to find the records of starting points and twist points.
Sure.
And in order to get access to that, he had to have certain documentation. Maybe that was a city ordinance.
Might have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy,
Yeah,
that,
have some credentials or something to
That is-
access that information.
but again, once you record that, once you upload that information, that survey, other people are going to be working off of your monuments, right?
Yeah.
So you got to have it right.
Yeah, but it sounds like in Puerto Rico, who manages or polices the quality
Yeah.
of the surveys?
Yeah. Who crosses the T's and dots the I's?
Who makes sure that people are doing things properly?
Oh my gosh. Well,
Ruth does.
Ruth. Yeah, Ruth.
Yeah.
Well, there's a
She'd
lot.
be good at it.
Right?
Yeah.
She would.
We're going to create a new job for Ruth.
But
Surveyor
there's a
of
law
Puerto
that
Rico.
says that
She was, actually.
I'm sorry, what?
She was.
I was what?
She's to this date, the first and only state surveyor.
No way.
wow.
What?
Yep.
How really?
She was.
How did that happen?
Well,
Eh?
well, I was the director of the land surveyor's office in Puerto Rico. But then the new government came
2015, right?
2016.
16?
The new government came and they decided to, just for political reasons, they decided to shut down everything that the previous government
Oh my gosh.
established
There was a change in
in the political party.
in the party.
In charge. Yeah.
You know,
So that I was removed from office, but they never chose somebody from their
Party.
or
Interesting.
somebody they
yeah,
like.
and people
Politics.
don't understand this really affects the banking. It affects the economy when they don't have this stabilization, when they don't have those boundaries, when they don't have those records, when they don't build on each other's shoulders, then you get instability. It's very frustrating.
So there's a
Instability,
law that
right.
says that every professional is responsible for the job they do or for the work they do. So if I submit a plat to the government agency in charge of permits, there's nobody on the other side that's going to check if my job is being done
Oh, my
correctly.
Yeah, because
If I
Interesting.
stamp it, it's my problem.
the problem, the thing is that in a lot of these agencies where you submit your plats, there isn't a surveyor. They don't have a licensed surveyor. So even if they wanted to, they can't check your work.
So when you become a licensed surveyor properly, you get a registration number, right? It's assigned to you. But then you have these other non-licensed surveyors out there doing surveys. They're not setting property corners then, right? Or are they setting corners and not putting a cap on it?
That's the thing. We don't have monumentation.
Okay.
We are not obligated
Just
to
set.
monument to set boundary.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do it because it's the best practice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we don't have any standards of practice that say you have to monument.
That's something actually the association and the institute is working towards.
But that these people that I said that they work without a license,
Yeah.
there is somebody that is signed in their plats.
Yeah.
There's someone that never went to the field and never checked their work and is just stamping those plats.
Oh boy.
Wow.
Interesting.
Fuzzy.
Wow.
All right, so I got to ask. You mentioned the hurricane coming in and that project. What's the most exciting or the most interesting kind of project you guys have worked on in the last few years that you really want to talk about? That's really kind of cool. And believe me, going to the archives and finding the plat from 18 whatever is pretty freaking cool. But can you give us any other examples?
Which one do you think is your favorite?
I think
Because we have traveled the whole island.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, right.
From the mountains to the coast, and when you do a job and a couple of years later you see the new building or the new house or the new road, you're like, I was part of that.
Yes. You're the essential part.
Right. What about the most complex, or which one had the most problems that you had to work through?
I mean,
I know that's every single one.
they all have problems, but for me personally, I really love the whole research part of boundary surveying. You feel like a detective in some ways.
Sure, yeah.
And I think the Aguadilla,
Oh, yes.
yeah, I think the surveying,
Well, tell us about that.
there was
Well, we cannot get into every detail.
Confidential.
We'd have to-
Don't use any
No.
names.
You can gloss
We'd have to
over the
kill you.
details, and we'll sign an NDA.
There was a controversy with a road that has been historically used publicly for like 100 years.
yeah,
Okay.
And
since the Spaniards were in the island.
Oh, right.
right,
Okay.
Since before
Okay.
this, we were invaded by the U.S. So a new developer came and bought some land, and
Right next to the said road.
Okay.
and there was this controversy if that road was public, if it was private land, if it was part of the railroad or the old railroad.
Mm-hmm.
And we were able to figure out the ownership and where it was supposed to be.
After many extensive hours of research.
Oh, I'm sure.
That was one where we really had to dig very, very deep.
And that's where
Interesting.
history
Performing
and
interviews
Yeah.
and everything.
Oh, that's cool.
And this is
That was real detective work.
right.
and the history of Puerto Rico is fascinating. I have a little bit of background in history, and I want to sincerely apologize what happened in 1897, I think it was.
98.
In 98, and the whole thing. I have actually a connection. I was born and raised in Prescott, and some of the Rough Riders that went with Theodore Roosevelt were from my hometown.
Huh.
And there's actually a huge monument to a guy named Bucky O'Neill who was killed as he was fighting in San Juan Hill.
Really?
So, yeah.
Oh, my God.
I think that's in Cuba, but it was all part of the same.
That's crazy.
But guess what? I apologize, and hopefully that just solves the whole problem right there. All these issues.
No
All
worries.
done, all gone.
All good.
It's all in the past.
Well, let's talk about the future. What are you guys excited about coming up in the next few years? I mean, where do you see the direction of the company? And talk a little bit about what the next 5 years looks like.
Hopefully, I can retire in 5 years.
No.
I've been working since I'm 17. I'm exhausted.
No.
You can't get burnt out yet.
Ruben's like, no, way too early.
At least let Ruben get licensed.
Yeah, exactly. Right. You got to sign off on his paperwork first.
Yeah. No, for me, for example, personally, in 5 years, I hope I'm licensed in 5 years. That's the goal, to be licensed. Maybe the boss makes me a partner. I don't know.
Oh, nice.
Maybe if she's nice enough. But no, we're really looking forward to the whole beginning to work with a U.S. Army Corps of Engineers.
That's huge.
That's huge for us because here in Puerto Rico, I think there's only about one or two big firms that you can actually say they're big firms. All the other firms are mediums to small size, and there's just a lot of surveyors. That's just them and maybe one helper, and that they do their work, right? So there's not many surveying firms in the island. So for us to have that contract means that if we do a good job, obviously, which we will, since that's what we have Ruth for, it'll help us grow, and that's something we're looking forward to.
Yeah. And do you see a lot of opportunity for growth in Puerto Rico?
Yeah, definitely. These next 10 years are key because right now, since all the disasters, Hurricane Maria, there were some earthquakes down south, Hurricane Fiona, there's a lot of disaster relief funds coming in. So these next 10 years are really going to be key.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot of work.
How do you guys...
reconstruction going on.
Yeah. How do you keep up with the advancement of technology? Like, what are the best resources? I mean, it's hard enough to keep up with what's happening, whether it be the hardware, the software, what have you. But, even seeing you guys, in Canada, at that conference was so cool. And there was some good presenters there, obviously, talking about technologies, talking about a lot of different things. But what are some of the resources that you guys use?
Well, I mean, we kind of have everything. We have access to all the new technology. We use we don't use mobile lidar. There are some firms in the island that use mobile lidar. They're using drone lidar, drone photogrammetry, 3D laser scanning, BIM, all of that. So we in the island we are keeping up with all of that technology. We're using Civil 3D or maybe Revit, Cyclone, all those new programs.
It's more expensive for us to
That's the
acquire
thing.
that technology.
That's the hard part.
Yeah.
Since right now here in the Puerto Rico, we don't charge the same as maybe in the States.
Sure.
So
yeah, I
but the
remember
price is
when
the
we're
same.
gonna buy a robotic total station.
Yeah.
I remember that the sales lady, she said, because I said it's too expensive for us right now. At that moment, we couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
And she said, but with the first job,
You're like, no.
with the first job, you can get what you invested.
Right.
I'm like, how much do you think I charge for this survey?
Oh, man. So you have the same problems we have.
It's challenging in that
Yeah.
part,
Yeah.
but we do have access to all the technology that you have in the States, and,
Yeah.
and some firms here in Puerto Rico, they have it because
Yeah.
they have been established longer than us.
Interesting. What else you got, Rex? Anything else?
I just think this is so fascinating, especially we have this connection with Puerto Rico. We've got the history, and we have all of the funding. You've got FHA funding for any real estate transactions there, just like if you were in Arizona. You've got the title companies for title insurance. You've got a county recorders. Yes. How do you guys do the recordation? Is it one recorder or is one recorder per county? How do you guys do that? That was because 78 counties. Where do you guys go to record something?
You go to the property registry.
Yeah.
Okay,
They
so
have
it's like a
7
recorder's
regions.
office.
I remember the exact amount.
Are there 78 different recording offices, or how many?
No.
Okay,
One per region.
one per region. Okay, that's good.
That's
to know.
right.
And how
That's
many,
good to know.
how many
It's
regions?
about 7 or 8.
Okay,
I think,
okay.
on the island.
Okay, so that cleared that up.
But most of them are not up to date with
Yeah.
registering the property.
Okay, so now this is where I'm going with this. If you want bank financing and they can get title insurance, if you want the cha-ching, the cash to come, it's there. But the surveys and the legal descriptions and the public records have to be accessible and honest and enforceable. That's another thing. The beauty of surveying and having property boundaries is you have an element of security called trespass. And when you own property, you have a right and you have a responsibility. Every time you have a right, I want to hear the responsibility. The right is
Exactly.
nobody steps across your property because that's a criminal trespass. That's what it is. Number 2, the responsibility is to pay the daggum taxes.
Yeah.
Pay the property taxes because they're going to pay the police officer that you're going to call and say, this guy's breaking into my house. And now you've got a society. The property taxes pay for paving of those roads. The property taxes pay for the sewer, the water.
All the infrastructure.
It is
Yep.
the key. And guess what? If you can have accurate legal descriptions that people can trust, you're going to get foreign investors to come in and buy property. And when they do that, they pay cash, they start building, and guess what? They help pay those property
And guess
taxes.
what? Then they start paying me more for surveys.
That's right, because now you've got a demand. And so we got to put this on the burner for all of the bankers, all of the title insurance. They got the money, guys.
Yeah.
They got the money. If they understand that these people are the key, then we can get them the money that they deserve. That's what we got to do.
100%. 100%. So, Ruth, Ruben, anything else? That
Yeah, what else you want to get out there?
get out there that we haven't talked about? I've really enjoyed this conversation, by the way.
When are you gonna come to Puerto Rico?
Oh,
to
yeah.
Hey, all we need, all we need is an invitation.
Waiting for an invite.
That's all we
can
need.
travel. All this can pack up in a nice little suitcase, and we can be there as long as we need to.
Yep, just let us
Right now
know.
it's very warm.
Is it?
Right now it's very hot. It's very
Not
hot.
like,
Guess what?
not like Arizona.
We're going to hit 116.
116,
116
117
tomorrow.
But that's actual.
112, I think, a couple of weeks
Wait,
ago.
Oh,
that's-
my
wait,
gosh.
116. That's actual temperature, or
Yes.
that's how
Yeah.
it feels.
No,
that's actual temperature.
Yeah.
So it feels like
Oh, no, no, no,
130.
I know.
Well, no, we don't have any humidity, so it's
It feels like
it's about
117,
3% humidity because it hasn't rained in 147
I
days.
know.
Yeah.
Oh, my
Oh, I
gosh.
see.
We have a lot of humidity.
Right. Yeah,
We
so
just
there's
step out of the shower and you're already sweating.
I know what that feels like.
Yeah, well, I've never been to Puerto Rico, and I want to go to
Let's
Puerto
do it.
Rico.
Oh,
I
yeah.
hear it's
Should.
absolutely
Anytime.
beautiful.
We could
Absolutely.
get a travel show and get a camera out there, people surveying and
Yeah,
educating.
we're working on it.
You know
Get
what?
the drone.
You know how many times I've thought about that?
We're working
Just
on
have
it.
like this traveling show where you'd like go around and interview surveyors from all over the world.
That's a great idea.
Oh,
And
wow.
get the drone stuff and shoot
Yeah.
stuff and get people to
Totally
invest.
doable.
What we need is capital investment. We can do this because I used to be a mortgage banker.
Yeah,
And
then-
I know they've got the money.
Yep.
And I used to be in title insurance, and I know they got
You
the
know
money.
they got the money. Yeah.
So we'll get them to sponsor it. We'll do it.
All right, guys, so I got
Well,
one last question that I always ask everybody. You guys ready? Do you have a
Okay.
mantra that you live by?
Oh, well, she has a couple.
I do have
We
that
always
couple.
tease her in the office.
Aw.
She's always, you got to write everything I say down. That's one of them.
That's good.
That's not a mantra.
That's it.
I like
love
it. I like it.
They think they have a memory of, I don't know.
Privilege.
Oh,
She says, "Oh, you have a
man.
privileged memory."
Yeah. That's not a mantra, though. That's direction.
No, that makes it. If I say it, write it down.
Those are words
Yep.
to live by. I can tell you that.
Yeah. How
What's
about
the
you,
other
Ruben?
one? I like to live by. I like to keep things more relaxed. I guess I'm the more relaxed one in the house.
I can see that.
Yeah. I like to say, like, if you can't, I forget how it goes in English because I know it in Spanish. I'm sorry, that's language barrier, right?
Say it in
But-
Spanish. Say it in Spanish.
I'm gonna say it in English. Okay, so if you can't fix it, don't worry about it.
Only worry.
And if you can fix it, why worry about it?
Only
Yeah,
worry.
I love that. Yes, yes.
Only worry about what you can control.
There you go.
Right? Same
I
thing.
love it.
And in reality, what can you control?
Well,
That's true.
So
There you
true.
go.
So you shouldn't worry about anything then, in that case.
Well,
Only the stuff that you can fix.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah. Good stuff. We'll add it to the list.
Yeah,
It's a keeper.
absolutely.
hey, guys, remember next year, March,
Yeah.
Puerto Rican International Surveying Congress. You guys are invited.
Ooh,
We are-
here we go.
Hey,
Roadshow.
Careful what you wish for.
Roadshow. I can feel it coming.
Yeah.
I got to do it.
Yeah, yeah.
I love it.
Count us
We'll
in for
prepare the
that.
guest room for you.
Oh,
Per diem and set up.
done.
Love it.
Oh, man. Well, thank you guys so much. This has been such a great conversation. I'm so glad we were able to make this happen. And Rex, thanks for being here.
Thank you, guys.
It's been great.
Appreciate you letting me sit in.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Are we ready?
We're ready.
Oh, you're waiting on me.
Yeah.
Oh, we need
you
music.
know, like usual, we got you got to take us out.
All right. I think I got it.
The music is
Boom.
always the
There we
important
go.
part.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
There you go.
Rock on, man.
All right.
Good to meet you guys.
Thanks again, guys. It's been great. All right.
great.
Anybody listening, if you want to be a guest on a future show, shoot us an email at info@thegeoholics.com. You get extra special treatment if you invite us to your homeland, like Puerto Rico.
Oh, yeah. There
Like,
you go.
Hey, you're coming to Puerto Rico. You're a guest on the show.
And you put us
We're
up.
waiting.
Oh,
You put
even
us up.
better.
Yeah, exactly. But other than that, Disturbed, Down with the Sickness, available everywhere. I don't have my show notes, so I am flying blind right now.
I would say if you can fix it, fix it. If you can't,
Don't worry
don't worry
about
about
it.
it.
And
Don't worry about it.
write everything down that I
Yeah.
said.
Write everything down that Ruth says.
Until next time, everybody, be safe and healthy. Oh, wow. Perfect.
Have their email and contact info.